Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful, beautiful day we have here in Chautauqua County. The sun is beaming down, and it looks as though winter is gone. It is getting a little nippy, though, fellas, and time is showing up. And, of course, Halloween's right around the corner. And we have a great program today. We're going to talk about senior living quarters, what to look for when you want to send away mom, when you want to put mom away. Actually, the point being that you do have to provide in many cases, for alternative housing for seniors, especially when you have a very elderly spouse is the only one trying to take care of them. And sometimes it's hideously expensive. It can cost you $100,000 a year. I mean, it's madness. But we'll be talking to Melanie Titzel, who is the vice president of the Parkside Senior Living Company, and they have a number of living quarters. And if there's anything she knows about, besides asparagus, is the senior living quarters. And we'll be talking about that. We also have a guest hostess for the doc commentary, and that is Karen Harvey. And she's an old friend. She's here a lot. And she's going to be talking about some of the important items in the Chautauqua County, such as the senior home, where they're selling it out and throwing the seniors under the bus for a few $100s a piece. Give me a break. These guys have been paying taxes in our county for 3/4 of a century, most of them. And you deny them, these are the sickest and the poorest seniors in our county. And they want to sell it out. And 80% or 81%, according to the record, is of the inhabitants over there, the residents, are on Medicaid. And Medicaid will not be given to many people when it's privately owned. I think it runs 7% in most senior housing setups. So they won't be able to get in on Medicaid. You got to be rich to get in to start with. You got your $100,000 ready? Yeah, so goes it. We'll talk about that with Melanie. She probably knows a little bit more than I do about it. Meantime, lots of news on TV. I can't even watch the TV without yelling at it. My family says, Reed, they can't hear you. I don't care. Of course, Obamacare is under attack again. They've tried, I think it was 40 some odd times to do away with Obamacare, meaning which they sneeringly say it's the Affordable Health Act. And the thing is, it's affordable. They've got, you know, the insurance companies have a death grip on health care in this country. You have to, this is the only country in the world where you have to go to an insurance company to get health care. And then you give them a big chunk of money for your insurance, and they keep a third of it, almost, on average. So you only get $70 back out of 100 for health care, and the insurance companies, for their fat salaries and their profits, they take the rest. The only country in the world where this happens. on Medicaid and Medicare, the rate, I believe, is about 5%, not 30% or whatever. And of course, they're doing everything possible. The insurance companies, healthcare insurance companies, are the richest in the world. They have billions and billions. They'll have billions of almost $1 trillion, which they stand to lose if Medicare, if Obamacare, quote, goes through, because it offers cheap insurance. And the insurance companies are allowed to keep 5%, but that's all. They're not going to be keeping 30% and feeding themselves, gorging themselves on your health care money. All right, enough said. And anybody who disagrees with that, please call in anytime. We'll hang up on you. Not really, I would listen. But in the meantime, lots of things happening in Chautauqua County, according to the Fred Crosscutt, who just sadly went down in his primary because of there was so much action on his opponent's side. Everybody came out to vote. His side, it was just Fred, and only his friends came out. That was it. But at any rate, Fred, we'll have you on regularly anyway, because you're very well. You'll probably be the county exec where you can turn around anyway. We had both county execs on this program, and we also had a debate. John Hamels ran one between the two of them, and it was very successful, they tell me. Very successful. All right, so, no, I just lost my earphone. There we go. This earplug, there it is. It's good now, Randy, thank you. All right, locally here we have a tax increase coming, they say about 20%. We're the highest tax already. We are, according to all the Forbes and all the financial people who know these things and study them, we are the highest taxed county, not in upstate New York, not in New York State, in the United States. And they were looking for a 20% increase in taxes next year. Well, more people will shift and run. They're running out of this county so fast, leaving the rest of us to pay more taxes because the taxpayers are running away. God help us. We need some kind of change. I don't know what it is, but we need a change. All right, I want to say locally, right here in this area, the hunting season is on. The archers are out shooting deer. Venison all over the place. You can't beat it. And there's no noise, and you don't scare all the little children. No shotguns. Although this year you will not have to have a shotgun in most areas in Chautauqua County. I think it's above, it's south of Route 20. You can use a rifle, and rifles are much better because, one, they don't go crazy when they hit a twig and go in any direction. Secondly, they actually kill the deer in many cases where the slug just wounds the deer, and that's something no hunter wants, is to have a poor deer shot and dying of a bullet. Locally, everything's fine. I've got some stuff for seniors. You know, we have the best senior groups in Chautauqua County. A quick note here from the Mount Carmel Social Club. They had a hamburger loaf made by Carm Tamio. I love the big stuff going on. As always, they had the pledge, and they sang the national anthem or something, and they did a lot of motions. And they have an installation dinner coming up November 6th at the Colony House, I might add, restaurant, very fancy place. That's in Irving, and it'll be at noon, 12:30. And the price is very cheap, and you can call for reservations if you want to go. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a member of the club, although in most cases you will be. The 50-plus seniors, a big crowd. They have a monthly card party. They have indoor walking. They have indoor exercises of various kinds. They have quilting. And they have all kinds of other wonderful things. Bingo. Everybody has bingo. If you're a senior group, you have bingo. I don't know. They're having a big Halloween party, October 31st. That's coming right up, right around the corner, 50 plus. And they're Friday, November 1st, they'll have showtime at the community room at the Collins Public Library. Don't forget, incidentally, daylight savings is coming up, guys. Yeah, November 3rd, Sunday. Clocks go back. You spring forward, you send them back. So it says 10 o'clock on your clock. You set it to 9 o'clock. Got it? And then you'll make it to church on time. That's why it's Sunday. Because if you miss, you don't miss a day of work. You just miss the sermon. Enough said. Big bingo they have. Big bingo games over there. And I don't know. They come regularly. You have to check with Nancy Crandall over there. Find out when they are. Silver Creek Seniors, Ed Newman, president over there, they have their own building right in the corner, basically at the intersection of Route 5 and Route 20. You can see it. They're allowed to finally put a sign up saying Senior Center. They're going to have soup on October 22nd, which is long gone. I love it. I love it. I love it. Brockton Portland Seniors, they meet regularly on Mondays. And they, I don't know, they have huge numbers of people over there. It's quite a crowd. And I want to say thank you to the people, Patricia Zangi, who helps out big time over there. And you got to introduce Lori Cornell, who's running for our county clerk. And incidentally, replacing one hell of a great county clerk. She was terrific. And so at any rate, happy birthday over there to Ethel Hutt, Pat Smith, Catherine Fabricius, and Mary DeLand. I love it. You know, birthdays are wonderful. Everybody, all senior centers have birthday cakes and they sing happy birthday, and it's another community. You know, join your senior group. It's having like a whole family there. Great Bell Seniors, they have a big crowd over there too. The Temples received great cheers because it was announced that they have their 63rd wedding anniversary. You know, 63rd, people are married for 63 weeks these days, and it's considered a long marriage. I have 50 years, so you can't beat that. On Monday, October 21st, there was an exercise class, and they have gentle stretching every week over there, and it's just terrific. Sheridan Happy Seniors, they're having a potluck lunch coming up, and you'll have to call them and find out when. Bingo was played at the end of it. Holy Trinity Seniors had a Halloween party and Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas, December 12th, they're thinking of. You know, you have Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner together. A lot of the seniors do. Get it all out of the way. Just a huge party. All right, Sinclairville, they gather once a month on the second Tuesday at noon, and they always have dinner. And hats off to the Sinclairville Fire Hall and Fire Department, who allows them to use their facilities. A lot of the seniors are just, they have wonderful care from the local fire departments and various other things. Okay, I've got a public service announcement for you. They're telling me I'm finished with the news, even though I do have more. Here's a public service announcement, and then you will hear from Karen Harvey, who shoots from the hip. This is for you.
Hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
There you go. If you got a spot like I've got one right here. Let's see, right about here you can see it, I guess. I should have that one looked at. I haven't had it looked at, but I've had it for years and years and years. All right, Karen, what's up? Karen Harvey.
Good morning, Reed. The Chautauqua County Nursing Home is a valuable county asset that we control. Unlike the Lakeshore Hospital, which we don't control and which has just been announced is going to close with a loss of 450 jobs and a number of seniors who will lose their senior residence, as well as some mentally handicapped people. So anyway, being in control of that asset is very, very important. The Inspector General of the Department of Health and Human Services put out a report, did an investigation of privately owned nursing homes. Ours is a publicly owned nursing home. The report and investigation indicated that $5.1 billion is lost almost annually because the for-profit nursing homes commit fraud by overcharging and under-caring for and understaffing their facilities. So when we have control of our home, we know what we're getting. We know that we're not paying a for-profit entity to maintain our elderly. We have lost one already in our county, and we have control of ours. We know that we can make it financially viable if we only implement the things that the Center for Governmental Research have suggested that we implement, the cost-cutting means. Now, the buyer that is proposed is a New York City buyer, and we understand that the New York City buyers, some of them, are aiming to buy rural facilities to gain control of those beds, those medallions, so that they can possibly move them to New York City where there's a great demand. In New York City, each bed is worth $100,000. So we would like to see our home, the vote comes up next week, the legislature will vote, whether to privatize or to keep it in our control. It has been with us since 1800, and we're proud to have the mission of caring, as we should as a civilization, for our elderly. If you are interested in maintaining that control locally, please let your legislator know that this is something we do not want to lose.
Thank you, Karen. It is very important that you do let the legislature know that you do not want this sold. It's, you know, it used to be the poor house, they called it, the poor farm over in DeWittville. And now, then they built a wonderful new facility, and they're still building it, I might add, just as they are the one in Silver Creek. And suddenly, they want to sell it. Well, I don't know, we should sell Route 20 maybe. Let's sell the legislature. Let's balance the budget here by selling off everything we can. Maybe we can get some kind of a deal on Lake Casadega, you know? Let's sell everything in Chautauqua County. And change the law, of course. You got to have 60% vote. Well, they tried to in the legislature recently. Since they failed to sell it, the county home, they tried to change the rules so that only 50% had to vote on it, vote for it. At least, I don't know. Should they go to jail? Is this some kind of fraud? Yes, I think it is. Melanie Titzel, sitting here with us, not believing what she's hearing from me. She hasn't even heard about the cat food. See this, ladies and gentlemen? That's what seniors are going to be eating very shortly, like they did during the Great Depression. As a matter of fact, the AARP has a campaign on to get food for seniors because they can no longer afford their food because Congress does not give them a COLA that is meaningful. They're now getting 47 cents on a dollar that they used to get with their Social Security because Congress doesn't give them the COLA. They set up inflation. We got 5% running here. Oh, no, Mr. Powers, it's only about a little less than 1%. Give me a break. I just paid my insurance. It jumped 50%, for God's sake. And then go over to the supermarket, try to buy a tomato for under $2 a pound. God, no inflation. Huge inflation, and then you're not getting a COLA, which means your dollar goes a lot less further, and you're losing money. AARP, thank you for trying to set up a program to get food to seniors who now need it, just like the poor in any other country. Incidentally, they may just go after Congress instead of gathering up cans of soup for seniors. Go after Congress. They're the ones who are setting up inflation and they're not giving us the COLA. Enough said. You'll be eating cat food in your dank, dark, wet seller of your children because you lose your homes and everything else because of this. What do you think of that, Stephanie? Melanie?
Well, I think the best way to deal with things that you don't like is to call your representative and express your opinion about what you want so that we can make things positive for the future.
And of course, they totally ignore you. Throw it in you send them a letter, it goes in the circular file, you know. Poof. Who's Melanie? She doesn't vote anyway. All right, Melanie, you're in charge of Parkside Senior Living.
I am.
It's a big, big outfit. You provide housing for senior citizens.
We do.
And it seems, first of all, where were you raised and born?
I was raised and born in this area of the country, in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Close by.
Yes,
very
close by.
And where'd you go to school?
I went to school at McDowell High School, and then I went to Mercyhurst University for my undergrad, and Penn State University for my master's degree, and Gannon University for my PhD.
Great schools, Penn State particularly. Now, so you are basically into the housing for seniors. Now, if I were a senior looking for a housing, you know, I say, look, I can't navigate, I can't get around. My wife has passed away 10 years ago. There's nobody around. My kids live miles and miles away at the other part of the continent. What do I look for? What do I do? Do I look at the phone book or what? What do you do?
That's a great question, because I think it comes to the mind of so many people. There's a lot of misconceptions about senior housing and senior services that are available, and everybody has to start someplace. I think that there's a lot of research that says if you stay actively engaged in life, socially, through networking with friends, through church or where you live, if you stay actively engaged intellectually, if you're reading or doing crossword puzzles or involved in a class with friends, if you stay engaged physically, if you exercise, you maybe go to a concert and stay involved in your community culturally, all of these things as you age, and actually no matter what age, but as you age, there is research that shows that you have a better chance of staying healthy and happy, and if something does happen, you have a better chance of recovering faster. And so I think one thing you want to keep in mind if you're looking is is how can I stay engaged in life? What setting can I best be involved in the different activities that are important to me, and so that I have the best chance of staying healthy and happy? Now, there's all kinds of choices. I'm most familiar with products and communities that serve middle-income folks.
Now, a lot of times, your children have to make this decision for you too.
It depends on what level of care you're talking about. Now, in senior housing, there's a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of different levels of service. The first level that people tend to look at, say they're just tired of mowing their lawn, and they're tired of the work around the house, and like you said, their kids are in Florida and they would just like to engage in a different way. There's independent housing. Independent senior living comes in all shapes and sizes.
Even a condo, right?
Even a condo, that's sometimes where people start.
Yeah.
They give up the lawn, and actually, if you own a home, it's affordable. Most of them are, ours is, and most of them are suited for middle-income people. But again, we're fortunate. There's something out there in the market for every income level and every situation. And so I would say do your research. But because we know that if you stay engaged and you stay active, you're going to do better, I would be looking for a community that touts that you walk in and you feel like it's an active, independent community. Are there things going on? Is there a schedule of events posted? If there is a schedule of events posted.
What do you mean by schedule of events?
Well, there's lots of things.
Birthdays or what?
Birthdays, socials, dances, concerts, games, all kinds of events, physical, cultural, spiritual, educational, all kinds of events that could be happening on.
So when you walk in, look for a posting of events.
Absolutely, and then check and see if what is posted is actually going on, because, you know, if there's nothing much except, you know, maybe nothing for an entire day, I'm not sure if that, it depends on what you want, but if you want to be healthy and active, you probably want to be engaged in things, and that's a good thing to look for. And independent living, at that level, you really are as a senior, you really are making the decision yourself. Most seniors that I've encountered that are looking for independent living don't even bring their children in on it until a little bit later. They start the process themselves. They're getting ready to sell their home and move into an independent community so that really they can just enjoy themselves and have a little bit easier life.
No lawn, you mean?
No lawn, no repairs, no, you know, just they leave that to
No snow shoveling.
the organization they move into.
Right.
And,
Well, now, again, this can go anywhere from just a nice condo all the way up to where they get communal dining.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me, first of all, we talked about selling their house. What do you know about this racket I see going on called reverse mortgages? What is that?
well, you know, that is, you know, they're paying you back to stay in your own home. And what I would think about in that situation is, you know, if you're staying in your own home, you're not having those opportunities to engage with others, if, you know, that you might benefit from in a community. It's another choice. Like I said, there's many choices out there, but you're still going to have be isolated in your home. You're still going to have the care of your home and the responsibility for your home. It's a way for you to stay there. But, you know, again, I believe, and the research shows, that if you stay engaged with others and in life, you're going to do better. So it may not be the best choice to do a reverse mortgage and stay in your own home. If you can use that asset, sell it, and use that interest on that money to live in a condo or a independent living community.
And you could probably live forever on whatever you would get out of your house if it's paid for, like most seniors.
Absolutely. If you own a home, you can typically afford an independent senior living community. And it's a wonderful lifestyle. You know, you have all kinds of options, and you do maintain your own independence, your own car, your own, you know,
Right.
independence.
I see the red blinker is going, and we've got a call. Somebody's trying to get in.
Great.
So at any rate, Melanie, you would advise them, in other words, to stay involved. That's the key, right?
You have
and
to
if
stay
nothing
involved.
else, do crossword puzzles.
Do something to keep intellectually challenged. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, I love to do crosswords, so I guess I'm intellectually challenged, but unfortunately, I can't do the New York Times in ink anymore. I used to do it in ink to impress everybody.
Right.
But it's, I don't know, keeping involved, keeping your foot in the community, going to the various affairs, public affairs. Now, I notice even the nursing homes, the critical care nursing homes, still wheel everybody out down to the park for concerts, and
Yes.
they have all kinds of interesting events they go to, right?
That's right. And in between independent living and the skilled nursing services that you're talking about is another level of care, which we can get into, called personal care. And that is a level of care that involves a little bit of assistance, but not with skilled nursing. It involves assistance with the activities of daily living, such as bathing, dressing, 3 meals a day, that kind of thing. And
House cleaning, probably.
housekeeping,
You know,
help with medications.
all you need now is one of those little robots. You know, they run around and they clean your house for you. I think that's fantastic.
I think
you know?
it is too.
It saves them. It saves a lot of money too. You know,
Right.
to have somebody clean your house.
Right, till the battery goes bad, right?
Well, I guess a couple of C batteries
Yeah.
or something should do the job. Melanie Titzel is a representative of the Parkside living setup, and they have a wonderful program over there. I can't advertise it because this is not an infomercial, but I can say Melanie sure knows her business. Now, I want to thank the town of Chautauqua You know, they fund this program. They permit the Channel 5, which is the Access 5 here in Mayville, to function and give the news out to everybody and let people have access to the airwaves. And they're doing the job correctly and right, and they're very honorable about it. And I want to thank the town of Chautauqua and their leadership for providing this facility. We, incidentally, are the only ones who have a live program going. This is one of them right now. We're on live. You can call in anytime you want. The number is 753-JACK, right up there. Or 753-5225 if you don't like the Jack. Jack your phone in. And Jack, let's see, there's the Jack, a lot. Jack me nimble. Okay, call in, guys, 753-JACK, Mayville's Exchange. And Melanie will answer any questions you have and solve all your problems. If she won't, I will.
There you go.
Even if we have to make up and manufacture an answer, right?
So we can talk a little bit more about personal care,
Okay.
if you'd like.
Now, again, we've talked about basically 3 basic types of facility. One is simple condo, and you're just living like before. But
Independent living in an apartment building complex or a condo. Personal care, where you're getting help with bathing, dressing, activities of daily living.
Dinner, they give you dinner.
Dinner, housekeeping, events, activities. Again, that service supports the same idea of being engaged in an independent lifestyle, but with just a little bit of support that you might need. And in that level of care, it's true that often family does come with or first to investigate and look at the community, and what you should look for then, I believe, is cleanliness. You should look for the staff and how they're acting and talking to people.
Somebody, one of my guests years ago said, probably the most important thing is when you go into the facility you're considering, smell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said the smell is very important.
Right. That's true anywhere. And I think that it's important to see how the staff is interacting. Are they being respectful? Are they engaging with residents? Are there things going on that support the idea of active, independent engagement, even if they're getting a little support with some of the things in their lives that they need, either permanently or temporarily? Because those are signs that it's going to be a good experience, a good personal care experience for you or your family member, your loved one.
And we have a couple of calls. You want to take a call?
Sure.
Hey, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning. I have a friend who lives in Northeast, actually, at the I can't remember, the Parkside, across from the park.
Yes.
I actually spent a couple nights there. Recently, there's been a change, I've noticed. For one thing, you have a new person running the cafeteria, or there's been a change there, I've noticed. The food has changed.
Better or worse?
Well, depends on who you are. Some people would think one way, some people would think the other.
Well, stop evading the question.
I'm picky, so I don't think it's quite as good as it was, but I'm very picky, and I know I am, so take it from there. Other people probably aren't as picky as I am. But when there are changes, do the people that live there have input as to what the changes are, and can they say, well, we really wouldn't like this change, and would that make a difference to the owners of Parkside?
Well, I think that's a great question. Certainly, the residents are our customers, and we do have a resident council that we meet with regularly. Open door policy, certainly willing to listen to all the opinions and thoughts, because the customer, we want to serve them very well. We have had a change in our food service, and we're adjusting to new menus. So I've eaten there many times. I think it's excellent food. We are working with some new fall menus coming up, and we think that that's going to bring some excitement with some new local. We're working with a company that believes in local produce and local fresh recipes and things. So we're very encouraged that there'll be some opportunities. For example, we're working with the Mercyhurst Farm in Girard and using some of their fresh vegetables and things like that for our food. So I think that food is a matter of taste, having personally eaten it, and I enjoy it. And I think the residents certainly do have input into menus. For example, we'll sit together and say, did you like the spaghetti and meatballs, or would you like to have, this choice or that choice? And our food service listens to that sort of thing.
I'll take the filet mignon and the lobster.
Well,
Yeah, we do have filet every so often, as a matter of fact.
and you also have, I happen to be privileged, I didn't attend it, but I was waiting for my friend, when you had your outdoor big picnic on the lawn and so forth, and the horse buggy that you could take rides in and so forth. It looked like most of the citizens, and it looks like you had a good turnout, and most of your residents were certainly enjoying that.
We had almost 100% attendance, and that was an example of the service, the food service that we are enjoying. Everybody enjoyed the
pudding. The pudding's very important.
The pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah, pudding. We had corn on the cob and hamburgers and hot dogs and buggy rides, and all in the front yard. We had farm animals for the residents and their children to enjoy.
Even the children, especially the children, I think.
Yes,
were
I think
enjoying
they did enjoy the children, and
especially the horse buggy rides and so forth.
they enjoyed that.
They were so excited when they were getting on and off.
Well,
Yes.
thank you, caller. We have two more people trying to get in.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your call.
Bye-bye.
And I will send you we will have for you a Big Mac, but you have to come in and get it because it's we keep it warm right here.
Hello?
That's right.
Hello?
Hello there, caller. You're on.
Hey, hi, how you doing?
Fine. How you doing?
Good, good. It's a nice day out today, huh?
It is sweet out there,
Yeah.
even
Well,
though it's in the 40s.
Yeah, but it's not raining, so that's good.
Oh yeah. I love it.
So are you going to go fishing later today, or?
I have decided that I'm not going to fish today because I have some fresh fish caught by my son-in-law. His father is a fabulous Don Patuch, and he's going to come on and talk about hunting and fishing very shortly. But he brought me a great big bag of perch. He gets his limit every single day out on Lake Erie.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I did have some. I was fishing yesterday, but all I got was little perch. I couldn't eat them. So.
Yeah, well, the perch come in all sizes, but again, the biggest size is the northern pike or muskellunge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, those are pretty good.
They're all
yeah.
the same family, you know.
Well, are you ready for my question?
Yes,
Okay, Melanie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're
Okay.
on.
My issue here is on Obamacare. And I was wondering if you could shed some light on, you can sign up, hopefully if you can get through, you can sign up, and then they determine whether you get a subsidy or not.
Right,
And I
they
was
make
wondering
it-
if you
they'll make
knew what level the subsidies would kick in at, and at what point would you be able to get some medical coverage without actually having to pay anything?
Well, I'm not an expert at that. I would say that the general consensus is there's a lot of unanswered questions around that still, even for the people who are experts at it. I think that the call-in lines for signing up are open so that you could, check directly, but I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what the limits are or anything like that.
Okay, but shouldn't they know that? But when they have people signing up, shouldn't they know the answers to that?
Yeah, well,
sort of
they
thing?
know one thing, it's going to be cheaper. That's all they have to know.
And they're still working out some of the details of those things. But I can tell you in terms of personal care, in funding it and getting what you need, folks who have long-term care insurance, that covers personal care. And so if you're, my age or younger, 55, it's a good product to buy. You can buy it at any time. Of course, it becomes more expensive. And it does cover typically, all policies are
Now,
different.
is long-term care, is that
Long-term
going
care
to be part of the exchange also?
I don't believe so. It's a private insurance.
Yeah, well,
only.
actually,
that would be separate from the
call it
exchange.
long-term care.
How about in the
Long-term
exchanges?
care is great if you're under 85. Unfortunately, the need for long-term care comes after 85 on average.
Yeah.
You won't be able to afford it at 85 because it suddenly shoots up to beyond your budget.
It gets very expensive
Yeah.
as you get older, but it's a good, if you're planning and you're listening for your parents and you're younger, and you're making plans for the future, it's a great way to ensure that you're going to be able to afford personal care and services that you would need for a period of time that's, on average, people would stay in a community
Right, I
that
understand that.
provides
But I was,
support.
getting back to the, before you need the long-term care, and just the regular policies available through the exchanges. I'm just trying to get to the criteria. Now, how about, are they going to count assets or are they going to count income? And what would you do? What would they do? Are they going to count your spouse's income and assets also?
I don't know the answer, but I would assume that they would do a thorough assessment and it would include all the data,
Yeah, if you have all your money in your spouse's name.
Well, I guess what you have to do is submit all your W-2s and your income, your 401ks and all that information on that, so they'll know everything that you have as far as assets and income.
Right.
Then they'll decide whether you're basically poor enough to get the
Well, not only that, but remember, you don't have to necessarily be poor. You get a much better price, and you can get on board if you are sick, and they can't throw you out if you do get sick. I mean, these are some of the scandals operated by the insurance companies.
Too, and that's a benefit. But what about if you don't sign up? Isn't there a penalty, and how much?
Yeah,
is
it's
that
a
penalty?
peanut penalty, though. Nobody pays any attention to it.
So you don't. If it's too much, you just don't sign up, and the penalty is no big deal.
Yes, and the part about it that's unfair is you now pay for her. If they don't sign up, if you don't have insurance, you know who pays. You do.
Right.
Okay.
And the people that don't, that are, let's say, young and healthy and don't really need insurance, all of a sudden they're going to have to sign up, and they're going to look at the price and they're going to say, why would I sign up to this? The penalty is no big deal. If I need coverage, I'll just go to the emergency room. And they don't end up signing up. And those are the people that have to pay for, like the older people that have more coverage but don't pay probably enough for their coverage.
Well, we should just round up those young sprits and put them in the slammer somewhere.
No, that's one way you could do it.
Well, the point is, Obamacare, so-called, they snottily use that term. Now everybody uses it because it's a better system. They will give you insurance for a lot less money because they don't have an overhead of 30% like the insurance company you are required to buy insurance from now. They'll have about a 5% overhead.
Yeah, but those insurance companies, what they do?
They steal your
they don't
money.
Want to pay out. No, what they do is they are very cost conscious, and they push it back against the hospitals and these excess bills, and so it's a price control.
You wonder about that because...
Well, I think they do, and I think they make, they have to have a profit margin to do that, but they do.
30%.
They push back, and they could save you more.
I don't think so.
Probably save you more than 30%.
Yeah, I have a feeling they they take 30% for the insurance. That's a hell of
Right,
it.
they need a profit margin, but they provide a benefit. And the benefit is they work and they buy in bulk, and they press back against hospitals.
That's exactly what
that's exactly
what the Obamacare is about. They're going to be big,
so
they're going to be.
Obamacare does the same thing, but they do it with a layer of bureaucracy, and that layer of bureaucracy is going to be about 30%.
Actually, they tell me it's about 5%, like Medicare.
Yeah, that's
Medicare.
The government tells you a lot of things. It was going to be the website was going to be 500 million, and now it's over $1 billion.
Well, it turns out that that's nothing compared to what the health insurance companies are paying for those ads telling you how horrible Obamacare is.
Well,
billions and billions. Mm-hmm. Everybody who comes out and says Obamacare is bad, I wonder how much they're being paid. Are you getting paid?
So you think you're paying billions of dollars in ads?
That's basically, yeah, that's it. Remember, the health insurance companies stand to lose $1 trillion in billings. That's no joke.
No.
That's a lot of dough.
The whole thing behind Obamacare is that you get more people signed up. So the insurance companies, at least originally, were willing to go along with it because they would get more policies.
Well, you can argue about this. I guess we could argue and discuss it because it is the main argument right now. Is paying? You realize we're the only country in the world that doesn't have national health care, which Obamacare is. The only country in the world.
That's not the only country in the world.
We are the only country in the world that is highly developed. There is a little country called Zambia in the Banana Republic that also doesn't have health care, national health care. And that's because they basically killed off all the seniors, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, my personal opinion is when you have a private health system, it's more cost-effective and more efficient than a national program.
Okay, well,
what do you think, Reed? What do you think? Do you think maybe Obama would like to have this first pass at this fail? So now we can have a one payer, which would be the government. In other words, this failed, so we got to go even bigger, and we'll just make the federal government the one payer.
Are
you in favor of that?
Well, I'll say this: all the healthcare people, experts, have been trying for national health care for the last 50 years. They finally got it. Yes, of course I'm in favor of it. I think it's if we have a setup which is non-profit, I think we're going to be well ahead of the game. And also with the government operating, everybody's going to be on their case watching them. You know it, sir.
Hello?
Hello, well, thank you for your call. Another caller. Good morning, caller.
Good afternoon. I was wondering if what education you specifically have for educating people on how to pay for this in the future.
Again, what education? What's the question?
How do you educate the seniors or people who are going to be in the seniors on how to pay for their expenses in the future?
What do you think?
Well, I think, every area of the country has an area agency on aging that has information for seniors available to educate you. Also online, if you work with a computer, that's a very good place to look for information. It's readily available if you have questions, easy to access. And then if you have personal consultants that you work with, if you have financial advisors or attorneys, or if you have ombudsman advocates, those are other sources. Children that can help you do the research.
How about that, caller? Caller went away.
Caller went away.
Caller, I hope you appreciate that. And the previous caller, I respect your opinion on the fact that private health care is better than public health care. That's not necessarily my opinion, you may have gathered. I want to say to all those folks who are calling in, thank you for your calls, and we still have room for 3 more calls. So keep calling if you want to be on the air and want to talk about the craziness of the healthcare system that we're dealing with today. There are different entities. There's the veterans health care, there's this health care, there's Medicare, there's Medicaid, there's all kinds of different health. It's a mishmash of craziness. And if you ever get sick, you got to have a spreadsheet to keep track of where the money's coming from, what company, what insurance, and everything. Madness. They did a comparison of a hospital in the United States and one in Canada. Now, Canada has national health care, as does every other developed country in the world, except in the United States, where the Congress is well paid to make sure the insurance companies make lots and lots of money. All right, now, they did a comparison of 2 hospitals. They were about the same in every way. And in order to take care of the medical needs, the paperwork, in this hospital on the American side, it took 52 people. It was a pretty good-sized hospital. And they were all working in the office, taking care of all these insurance forms and paperwork and so forth. And the Canadian side, they don't have private insurance, 2 people. One of them was taking care of Americans who were trapped in their hospital. Okay, so there's a huge amount of money that goes into paperwork with this crazy system we've got right now, which we're trying to break out of. But again, the insurance companies have made sure that you're brainwashed, I guess, some of us anyway, most of us. The great corporations own all our they own all our television and radio and so forth now, so they spoon feed you what they want you to know and the way you want to hear it. So be very careful when you're listening to NBC. It might not be the news, it might be think speak they're feeding you. Melanie Titzel, Vice President of the Parkside Senior Living. So we're running down on time now, and I just wanted to ask people, first of all, give your phone number. If they want to call you and ask you about anything you've discussed or want some inside info, what's your phone number?
Area code 814-725-3665. 814-725-3665.
Thank you. You have the good sense to repeat it, I might add.
There you go.
And also, you didn't give two numbers. People will say, or call, and then forget it. Well, you got two numbers, it's hopeless. It's a mishmash. Nobody could ever remember it. Melanie has been giving us a little inside dope here on getting into a nursing home or a middle area where they take care of a lot of your stuff. They do your cleaning, and they may come in and help you with a wash, and they may have a dinner. Many of these community centers have a dining room where you can go for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and or dinner. Usually it's dinner, though, right?
Most of them have a dining room, and usually, if it's a personal care, it is for 3 meals a day. That's typically the regulations. Those are the regulations in Pennsylvania, and certainly that's what you should enjoy to stay healthy and active, or 3 nutritionally balanced meals a day. And in personal care, there's just a light level of assistance to help you stay actively engaged in the independent lifestyle that you've chosen when you give up your home and move to an independent living community.
And somebody to rattle you about your pills.
Well, that's another important part of it. And it's amazing to me when a resident moves in and they're eating properly 3 meals a day, and they are taking their medications properly because we're assisting them and reminding them when to take it. Those 2 things alone have helped people to, feel better and to be more social and to just enjoy life a little bit more. They feel a little bit better getting good nutrition and the right medication. So I see it make a very positive difference in people's lives in terms of keeping them healthy and active.
There you go. I was on the Westfield Fire Department for many, many, many years, and an EMT, and we used to get a call about once every 2 or 3 weeks from the same guy, and he lived alone, and we would go to his apartment and pick him up and take him to the hospital, and they'd look him over and say, well, you're okay, John, and send him home. One time on the way in, I said, John, you seem to spend a lot of time going over to the hospital. What's the real reason? He says, I love the vanilla pudding.
Yeah, we get really positive feedback about a lot of our foods, and as a matter of fact, on the tables each night at dinner, we give comment cards so that for each meal they can rate, and then I get to look at them, and they've been really very, very good. And if there's some suggestions, they can also, comment on that, and that's not unusual in a community. But we like to do that every day so that we know, each day did they like what was served, and the comments have been very, very good. And if they want something different, they can write it right on the card, and then we can address it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I'd continue to write down, I want more lobster tail with drawn butter.
There you go. Or steak, yeah, right.
Or filet mignon with a nice sauce on top of it.
Or pudding.
Or pudding, the vanilla pudding.
Right. Right.
We're chatting briefly with vanilla pudding. Melanie Titzel, who happens to be Vice President for Parkside Senior Living, which has a number of sites for seniors. Now, these are the middle range sites mostly, or?
Yes, we typically serve the active, independent, engaged senior at the middle income level. You know, if you own a home, you typically can afford us. We have a community in Erie, the Regency at South Shore, and one in Mill Creek, Parkside at Westminster. And then, of course, one in Northeast, just very close to here.
Yeah,
and that's the
close.
phone number,
Right.
814-725-3665 that I gave you. That's our
Okay,
Northeast.
814-725-3665 if you want to contact Melanie or want some questions answered. And there are many seniors out there, as has been called in already by two of them. What do we do if we decide we want to have senior care of some kind or the other?
Well, and we haven't talked too much about skilled nursing care, but if you do need skilled nursing care, that's an assessment your physician makes. That is something that very few people actually end up needing and staying in. A lot of the skilled nursing facilities have rehab departments, and folks will go there if they break a hip and they rehabilitate and move back home. So it's not that, you know, people don't go to them, but typically now, often, they are rehabilitating and going back to their personal care site or their own home. And then, of course, if you need it permanently, they are available. It's a very important level of care.
You do need Medicaid before you know it, though, because
they're quite expensive.
they're 80 to 100 grand. They tell me a year. Holy man! Do you accept Medicaid?
Well, we aren't at that level of care. No, we don't. But yes, it is quite expensive at the skilled care level. And again, that's why I think it's very important before you're at that level to take care of yourself, be engaged in life, participate in programs, you know, keep your body healthy by exercising, eat well, and take your medication properly, do what you need to do. And independent and personal care communities, such as ours, can facilitate that. And hopefully you never go to the skilled care that you can't afford.
Yeah, so basically there is a place to go, and it is reasonably priced, the middle range. And what do you call that middle range? The assisted living, right?
Personal care.
Personal care. And you can definitely be taken care of at a reasonable price. Well, Melanie, I certainly want to thank you for joining us. We're running out of time. I just got this message in my earphone. We're out of here.
We're out of here.
Yeah. Give you, say, half a minute to just close off, okay?
Well, thank you for having me here today. Please feel free to give me a call if you have a question or a need, particularly about personal care, my area of expertise, or independent living. Glad to help you. If you have any questions, it's area code 814-725-3665. We're a close neighbor right across the state line.
Right across. Okay, Melanie Titzel, I appreciate you joining us again, and I hope that you will come back sometime. Will you come back?
Glad to.
You know, they keep changing all these rules all the time anyway. Maybe Obamacare will take off. Maybe they'll answer the phone. That's a problem over there. That I think they were hacked. They probably just chopped them down. The healthcare industry. I'm sure they got a hacker from China to come in and blow their system. Chuck Kelsey. Thank you, Chuck, for bringing this to the public. Chuck Kelsey established and set up Channel 5, the Access 5, and worked hard at it for many, many years. How about almost 20 years? Devin Taylor worked on it. Chris Burt is working on it today. Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, he's running the controls right now. Don Zenz once in a while shows up, and John Hamels once in a while shows up. John says he's in Canada, and it costs too much to call in. Come on! Get out there and dance and sing and be in the sun, because it's a beautiful day. And may all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.